Yo guys, it's slyroh. You already know that today we are back reading some Danganronpa Zero. Today we are starting chapter 16. This is going to be part 1, and there's going to be a lot of parts to chapter 16. As I mentioned before, chapter 16 is over half of this novel. On the page that I am reading it, chapter 16 is split up into little sections, so I might try to use those as to when I stop. But honestly, what I'm probably going to do is I'll probably just read for about 30 minutes and then find the next good stopping point and stop somewhere in the 30 to 45 minute range, and then just do that until we get to the end of the novel. So yeah, I assume that there's a lot of stuff to this. I don't know why the chapters were split up this way, where some chapters are like a couple pages and then some are over half the novel, but you know, it is what it is. I didn't make that decision, so I'm just reading it as I see it. So yeah, we're gonna start chapter 16. Hopefully you'll enjoy, and like I said, I'm just gonna read for a while and I'll find a good stopping point whenever I can, and we will just do that for however many videos it takes. So hopefully y'all enjoy. Let's go ahead and start the final chapter of Danganronpa Zero. And so, after everything that's happened, I, Ryoko Tanashi, and Yasuke Matsuda-kun made the decision to drop out and put Hope's Peak Academy behind us. Okay, that is interesting. The past couple things that past couple chapters we read had to do with Kyoko and her father, the headmaster Jin. So this is a strange turn of events that they just randomly drop out of Hope's Peak. Right now we're waiting for our flight at the airport lobby. Soon we will both board an airplane and embark on our trip to America, the land of the free. I finally realized what's important. As long as I have Matsuda-kun in my world, I don't need to fuss over such trifling matters as Hope's Peak Academy. I have no obligation to participate in this irrational story. If you happen to be interested in what happens next, by all means, go ask someone else. We're busy. After we get to America, we're going to develop a new species of corn at a corn plantation, and then go to NASA and work on relocating to the moon. And Matsuda-kun, I say, turning towards Matsuda-kun, who's already hard at work growing corn under the seat next to me. Hey, we're not at the plantation yet. Isn't this too early? Don't interfere. I'm busy planning the Cybermen. He replies while planting some seeds in the ground. Alright, this is going to be some sort of dream where Ryoko wakes up and is just like, oh, no, we're actually here. You can't, Matsuda-kun. Cybermen require rich soil to grow. Napa-sama is going to be so upset. He's not listening to my advice. And bang, 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 bang. I open my eyes. Yeah, okay. You're not living in a Dragon Ball Z world where you're planting Cybermen in a cornfield. I raised my body up wearily and took a look around the room. A beige carpet, a small dresser, empty bookshelves. Here and there, small notes reading, "This is my room," were pasted on the wall. Since they were there, I knew that this was indeed my room. I gave a sigh of relief and then realized I didn't have time for that. Bang, 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 bang. Somebody was knocking violently on my door, as if trying to bring it down. I'm coming, just a minute. Bang, 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 bang. Bang, 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 bang. What, are they, like, playing a beat on your door? Like, what's happening? Not only didn't they wait, they also started knocking the strange rhythm. Okay, maybe they are. I saw caught out of bed, and then realized I had been sleeping with my shoes on. Crazy. I thought as I removed them, picked up the notebook, was lying next to the pillow, and rushed to the door. Who is it? I unlocked the door and then opened it softly. Yoo-hoo! A blonde girl in loud makeup peeked vigorously through the gap. Wow, I reacted in surprise. Hey, how much longer are you planning to sleep? As you know already, you know. What are you, a giant? Huh? Oh wait, Sleepy was the dwarf, wasn't he? Sorry, my bad. I opened my notebook to check who this mysterious person, who didn't seem to care about the proper way to start a conversation was, but... Oh, have you forgotten about me? Let me tell you, my name's Junko Inashima-chan, aka Super High School Level Fashion Girl. Junko Inashima, huh? I heard and looked for memories of her in my notebook. Soon, an alarm started going off inside my head. That's right, this is a girl who called herself a murderer and tried to get me involved in something I absolutely mustn't get involved with. Go away! I screamed as my brain was coming to a boil. I closed the door in a panic, but she had already forced her foot through the gap in the style of a door-to-door salesman and stopped me from doing so. Oh, are you perhaps thinking you can run away? That kind of attitude's just gonna hurt my feelings, you know. I don't care, just go away. I used my entire body's strength in an attempt to push the door closed, but it didn't budge. Ding dong, Eureka, I got it. You think I'm a strange girl, don't you? You think there's a screw loose in my head, don't you? Could it be that you don't even want to hear what I have to say? Is your conviction that strong? In that case, big shock. Inashima-san opened her eyes wide and spread both her arms forward as she said the last two words. What the? Don't you think it's funny? I was so sure I could make a fad out of this expression. Big shock. She seemed to live in a different dimension than me. I'm the one who should be in big shock right now. We all live in big shock. No, that's not it. I meant, what do you want from me? Well, we can't stay here at the door all day, so... Excuse me, coming in. She pushed the door open with what seemed to be the strength of 100 men and invaded my room. No! I tried to escape deeper into the room, but Inashima-san ran to reach and grab me by the back of my neck. Fuck you! This isn't the time for you to be running away, isn't it? Is it? Aren't I the grand thief who stole away your precious notebooks? Don't you hate me? Don't you despise me? I don't care anymore. I don't need those old memories anymore. I mean, it's not like I can remember any of them. Fair point. I struggled violently and somehow managed to shake her hand off. Then I jumped into my bed as fast as I could, covered my entire body, head to toe with the blanket, and yelled a plea. Just leave me alone. Don't involve me in whatever it is you do. This has nothing to do with me. Then, oh, so you're going to lock yourself in your own little world. I heard Inashima says in different voice through the blanket, but that would mean you're just going to let Yasuko Matsuda die. Are you really okay with that? In a second, my sunken emotions poured out all at once and spread all the way to my chest. What did you say? Are you going to do something to Matsuda-kun? I shot like a bullet from under the blanket and hurried toward Enoshima-san. Then something unexpected happened. Smiling, Junko Enoshima-san hugged me. Huh? I was so dumbfounded when she began whispering in my ear. Yes, that's good. You should hate me so much you'd want to kill me. The more you despise me, the more despair-inducing the story is going to get, and that would be perfect. Wait, let me go. Hate me, despise me, fight me, tear off that shell of yours, and let your true self reveal itself. This is not the time to lock yourself inside your own world. Let's give birth to a new you. It may hurt right now, but there's no need to worry. These are just birth pains. When you overcome them, it would finally be time to say happy birthday to your true self. I took a bite into Enoshima-san's ear. Okay. Ow. As she faltered, I jumped out of her grip. Give me a break. Why do I have to get involved in something like that? It has nothing to do with me. Whether you have or don't have anything to do with it, has nothing to do with it. She stroked her bitten ear and turned towards me, an ecstatic smile on her face. Traffic accidents, natural disasters, wars. Do you even realize how many people in this world lose their lives to things that have nothing to do with them? But it's the same. Well, at least the same to me. I started praying. Dear God, please listen to my prayer. Please drop a meteorite on this girl's head right now. If you do, I will revere you for the rest of my life. Right after Matsuda-kun. Besides, you have everything to do with it. You only say you don't, because you simply don't remember. Huh? My prayer was instantly swallowed by intense bewilderment. What has something to do with me? It's obvious, isn't it? And Enoshima-san arbitrarily lowered her voice and declared, the worst, largest incident in Hope's Academy's history. You're deeply involved with it. Quickly turned to consult Ryoko Itonachi's memory notebook, but Enoshima-san grabbed my hand. Let me go. Did you really think you can't remember, did you really think the things you can't remember are worthless and meaningless? If you did, you really are a dummy. She smiled a faint smile and drew closer. You see, it doesn't matter how much you forget. Your actions are not going to disappear. Their effects are still felt right now in the world you've forgotten about. What, did it never cross your mind? Did you never imagine decisions you made end up hurting and tormenting people? It's a cruel world out there, but it's the one we live in. People are intertwined in ways much more complex than you have ever imagined. A single person's actions may save the entire world. A single person's actions may cause a chain of despair that throws the world into chaos. Isn't that amazing? Really, this is a world worthy of being lived in. It was such a worthless, silly logic that I felt embarrassed just listening to it. There was something there. Somewhere deep inside my heart, I found myself agreeing with her words. Do you get it now? In that case, let's return to the conversation starting point. Enoshima-san crossed her arms. I'm going to talk fast, so pay attention. You most certainly are involved with the worst, largest incident in Hope's Academy's history, but I assume your next question is, exactly how am I involved, isn't it? This is going too quickly. I'll tell you then, she ignored me and continued. That is, I can't really tell you. Which is it? I wish you would at least be clear on this point. I mean, it's boring if I tell you now. At least that's what I think. That's why you should find out on your own exactly what your involvement with the incident is. I think that's the kind of story this is. Find out on my own. She thinks this is a game? Yeah, she likes making things into games. Probably asking yourself if I think this is a game, but I'm not going to tell you either way. That's the kind of story this is. This is the perfect time for me to add that I'm going to give you a hint. That's the kind of story this is, you see. I gave up. Her speech was completely absurd. I couldn't even understand the point she was trying to make. Which means what, exactly? I just told you, didn't I? I'm going to give you a hint. And Enoshima-san looked offended. By the way, once I give you the hint, my role here is over. After I give it, I'm going to go away without saying another word. You're going to go away? You are, really? I thrust my body forward instinctively. I felt energy like I've never felt it taking over my body. Then tell me, and then go away. Fine. It's not like my feelings are hurt or anything. And Enoshima-san's lip trembled as if she was shocked at my unexpected joy. By the way, this is important, so make sure you write everything down. Sure, I got it, so just get on with it. As I pressed her, I took out my notebook. She coughed a little cough and raised her voice to make an important announcement. Ta-da! Here we go. The hint is all about Junko Enoshima-chan's goals. She made a V sign with her right hand. There are 2 such goals. She dropped one finger from V and left her index finger pointing up. Goal number 1, to thoroughly crush down the school symbol of hope, Izuru Kamakura. Then she raised her middle finger. Goal number 2. After a short pause for dramatic effect, she raised her voice to maximum volume and continued. To kill the beloved darling Yasuko Matsuda. I heard a thump and realized I dropped my notebook on the floor. My body stiffened. I couldn't even speak. To kill the beloved darling Yasuke Matsuda. Those incomprehensible words spouted buds of fear, anxiety, and confusion inside my body. The seeds grew and stretched in a single instant, fixing my body in place. I felt as if I was cast in plaster, unable to move even a single finger. Inashima-san watched my suddenly silent figure instantly for a brief moment, and then everything was silent. Her mouth was a straight line, tightly closed, as if declaring her intention not to speak anymore. And then, after standing there quietly for a few seconds, Inashima-san made a small goodbye wave with her hand and left my room. She said what she said, and then she said she was going to say the things and then leave the room. That's what she wanted. The moment I heard the door close, my body lost every bit of energy and I crouched, as if struck down by anemia. What the... My voice squeezed from deep within my throat, sounding like the chirps of a dying bird. Matsuri-kun, she wants to kill. Okay, got it. The cool word took over my entire world. She can't. She definitely can't. No, it's not like she's definitely not killed anybody before or anything. My head was hot enough to make my hair rise. She can't do such a thing. My chest was also hot. Intense burning emotions made my heart explode. And then something strange happened. Magma-like heat bubbled up inside my stomach, gradually swelled inside my body, and exploded when it reached my chest. It escaped my heart and reached every muscle in my body. I felt rejuvenated, stimulated. I can't let her do this. I leaped out of the room and into the corridor, yelling. I ran like a bullet in a fever I couldn't believe myself. The pages of Ryoko Otonashi's memory notebook fluttered in the wind. As I listened to the flapping noise of my trusted partner, I screamed inside my heart. I will protect my own world. I will save Matsuri-kun. I ran through the dormitory's corridors like a hurricane. Matsuri-kun, wait for me. I will be there soon. Ryoko Otonashi is running. I am running. So I can become the savior of my and Matsuri-kun's world, but at the same time, I hadn't noticed yet. I hadn't noticed that my frantically working towards a goal was itself the beginning of my despair. I hadn't yet noticed this despair-inducing reality. Oh. Wait, Volume 2, Chapter 1. So that's the end of that Chapter 16, and then there's an extra volume and stuff? I don't know. I don't know how this is split up anymore. Okay. But we're on a new Chapter 1? Oh, that actually could... Who knows? I guess that was all the chapters for one volume, and then there's another volume here. That actually makes sense as to why things are out like that. Alright, so I mean, I don't really know exactly how this is going to be split up in terms of, like, titles and thumbnails or whatever, but who cares? We're just going to keep reading Danganronpa Zero, and hopefully the people that are here listening to it enjoy it just for that. So let's continue reading. Yasuke-kun, what is it? Hey, Yasuke-kun. So what is it? Why are you angry? Are you for real? Because I spent my entire day trying to find a criminal. You should have said it was you who destroyed it all along. Why'd you lie about it? I didn't really lie about anything. I just didn't mention it. It's the same thing. Why'd you do such a thing? Because you never leave your house anymore, Yasuke-kun. Huh? Thought maybe if I made a sandcastle, you'd come back. There's no sense in making them if you don't look at them. It's none of your business. Yasuke-kun, why are you hiding? Shut up. Don't you like seeing... don't you like people seeing you cry? I'll hit you. You can't hit a girl, Yasuke-kun. You're just another dim-witted girl with no personality. I won't cry. Okay. I'm not trying to make you cry. I don't cry because the person who really wants to cry is Yasuke-kun. What are you saying? I don't cry. Why do you keep pretending to be strong? I'm not trying to be strong. You don't have to pretend to be strong in front of me. I don't care if I'm a dim-witted girl with no personality. Anyway, if I saw you crying, I bet I'd like you more. That's kind of gross. Fine if it's gross. Besides, I've decided something. Even if you hide, I'll always be by your side. You can't escape me. Not like a stalker. I'm not a stalker. I'm your lover. Why are you my lover? Is that something you decided by yourself? Yeah, since we're lovers, I'll be with you when you're sad. I'm not really sad. There you go, pretending to be strong again. I'm not pretending to be strong. I'm just not sad. Yasuke-kun. In the end, she didn't even remember who I am. She just figured I was just some kid she didn't care about. I couldn't even call her mom anymore in case she gets scared. I had to pretend to be someone else's kid. I'm not gonna cry for her sake. Now that she's dead, I've got a load off my shoulders. I don't have to be an actor in a play anymore. But it was because of the disease. I said it was unavoidable, didn't I? I'm sick of hearing it. The doctor was always saying that. The doctor didn't do anything. If he were really a doctor, he would have cured my mom's disease. He sounds like a phony. If I were a doctor, I would have cured her disease easily. Are you gonna cry? I said I don't cry. Don't worry, I'll never forget about you, Yasuke-kun. What? Oh, that's a weird thing to say suddenly. It's not weird, I really mean it. Even if I forget everything else in the world, I'll absolutely remember you. If you do forget, what will you do? And you'll cure me, Yasuke-kun. If you become a doctor, you'll be able to cure any disease I have, won't you? Oh, okay. Well, yeah, I guess. Alright. And if you forget, I'll remember you. But if I don't remember, we'll still be together forever. We'd spend our whole lives looking after each other. I knew it, you really are a stalker, aren't you? You know, we'll always be together. Hey, since we'll always be together, it's okay to do embarrassing things. It's okay to cry. You can cry forever. You really are weird. So you have given up. You won't laugh at me? I won't laugh at you. You won't try to comfort me? won't try to comfort you. You won't tell anyone. I don't have any friends to tell it to. I don't have any friends either, or any family. For the first time in his life, Yasuke Matsuda cried in public. Okay. I'm assuming this is like a flashback. I guess him and Ryoko maybe were like childhood friends or something, and then Matsuda also had like I guess like a mom that like died of some sort of disease, and he's like angry at the doctors for like not curing, and so now he's kind of in this role where it's like now he wants to be the one to cure a disease that's afflicting someone that's close to him, I guess, which I assume would be Ryoko, and that's why they're kind of together-ish. Okay, and then yeah, it's going right into chapter 2. Okay, so on the document that I have, the chapters in volume 2 are not split up at all. So I guess I will read to the end of this chapter, and then maybe next time we can just start at chapter 3, and that'll help me in terms of titling the videos and whatnot. So we'll see. We'll see. But let's go ahead and just read chapter 2. I assume it'll be pretty short, just like the early chapters in volume 1 were. Alright, Host Academy's East District, the faculty building. In the unpopular 4th floor's corridor, only 2 sets of footsteps could be heard. One set of footsteps belonged to the school physician, the other belonged to super high school level neurologist Masuda Yasuke. See, now they're saying it in like the opposite direction. That's so weird. Whatever. The physician with dark shadows cast over his face led Masuda. A depressing feeling floated in the atmosphere. Masuda wore his usual dingy white shirt that fit him loosely. The hem of his shirt met his trousers, and he wore a jacket over the top. It clung to his shoulder stiffly as he walked, most likely because he never wore it. I really owe you one for this, said the physician walking ahead of him. Masuda raised his head. He's nowhere near my specialty. I was extremely troubled on what to do. I appreciate your cooperation with this. He had a relieved-sounding voice. Masuda replied in an indifferent voice. Still, in the future, you should talk to an expert about it. But if you can't do that, come to me. That's all there is to it, right? That's... The physician choked back his words. Masuda could not see his face from his position, but he could easily imagine the man in front of him looking concerned. Something happened? Masuda took some deep breaths to calm himself. It's fine. I'm not going to use the excuse that I'm a student on you. No, instead I should be helping the experts more. I see. In any case, I owe you my thanks. The physician's face returned to normal. However, in turn, Masuda had only become more tense and irritated. He reminded himself to suppress his emotions. Either way, there's no turning back. If I can protect her, I need to keep going on. No, instead, I need to keep falling down? The physician continued to lead him around the corridor corner. Matsuda followed him. The atmosphere immediately changed. This part of the corridor was eerily silent. He felt the temperature rapidly drop. On one side of the corridor, every window was covered up by thick curtains. The other side was lined with a number of doors. On each door, there was a darkly tinted small window. This corridor was longer than the last. The faculty building was exactly as Matsuda had imagined it would look like since he first learned of its existence. Usually all the rooms are vacant. The physician abruptly started to explain. It may have sensed Matsuda's question. Then I suppose he means these rooms are only really used in an emergency. He followed the physician, looking around absentmindedly. The physician, who had been walking ahead of him, stopped suddenly. This is it. As he said that, he gestured to the door next to him. There wasn't anything unique about the door. In fact, it was a miracle the man was able to identify the door. Apparently all the equipment has already been delivered. Can you really go by yourself? The principal had asked for 2 people. It's fine, Matsuda replied flatly. No, but the physician hesitated. Matsuda had rendered his argument useless. The principal and steering committee have given me full access. In their absence, they have left it to me. Besides, it would make no difference if 2 people went. Actually, it would probably affect the subject in a bad way. So I ask of you to please leave the rest of me. The physician looked subdued. He quickly gave up and nodded, but not bothering to argue anymore. I see. Well, then I'll leave it to you. The physician turned away from Matsuda and walked around the corner and into the depths of the corridor. After Matsuda watched the man walk away, he turned his gaze to the door in front of him. He slowly opened the door. Behind it was a dimly lit, wide space. The first thing he noticed was the room filled to the brim with various electronic devices. The place had more high-tech equipment than the school's humble school hospital or the research facility. Well, that's Host Academy for you. That was the first impression the room before him gave Matsuda. However, he felt tense as he stepped foot into the room. The fluorescent lights over him seemed to be unreliable in comparison to the ones used in the classrooms. The window on the back wall was also covered in thick hanging curtain. The overall lighting of the room was quite dark. Due to that, the light emitted from the electronic devices stood out more. In the center of the room was a bed, surrounded by shining lights. Matsuda's line of sight drifted towards the figure on the bed. There was a man sleeping. He slowly walked to the side of the bed close to him and looked down at the man. He had shallow facial features and a pure on his face, as if he were a swordsman out of a movie based in feudal Japan, but something caught his eye more. There was a bandage wrapped several times over a painful-looking wound on his head. Matsuda knew who he was. This man's name was Murasame Soshun. In the top position at the student council, he was the super high school level student council president. He was also one of the survivors of the largest incident in Hope Peak Academy's history. As if examining... He was a survivor? Wait, I thought everybody, like, died in that. Interesting? Okay. As if examining, Matsuda turned his gaze to the man. The man lying on his back had his eyes firmly open, although they saw nothing. They stared straight up at the ceiling without moving, without blinking. It's been a while. Matsuda tried calling out. There's no response. He picked up the medical records next to the bed. He had already been told what was written there beforehand, more or less. Murasame Soshun was involved in the largest incident in Hope Peak Academy's history, during which he suffered serious head trauma. Fortunately, he escaped any life-threatening injuries. He was supposedly able to recover, however, for several days, even several weeks. He was still not responsible at all. The reason as to why remains unknown. As Matsuda returned the medical record to the bedside table, he tried raising his voice again. You know who I am? I'm Yasuke Matsuda from your class. I'm the super high school level neurologist they were talking about. We've met several times before. As he expected, there was no response. Matsuda continued to prompt him. So why do you think I came here? As he sat down, he looked at Murasame's face. He stared intently, searching for any hint of a reaction. I was asked by the school headmaster and members of the steering committee. I said I wanted to help your recovery. Even though I said I wanted to hear about what happened, they wouldn't tell me anything. In fact, they did the opposite. In order to cover it up, it seems they want to hear the full story from you. Matsuda paused and emphasized the words that followed. Well, that's supposedly their intentions. As always, Murasame didn't respond, but Matsuda continued anyway. If you ask me, they don't like that you came back. That's why they sent me. So even if I do everything I possibly can, you can't stay. So I don't really care either way. Having you gone will probably work out for the best for them. But what if you don't disappear? If you do come back, that'd really screw over their plans, won't it? When that happens, I wonder what they'll do. Once they get the story out of you, they'd be under a lot of pressure. As Matsuda explained the circumstances, he picked up Murasame's right hand. After lifting up, he soon released it. However, the man's hand showed no sign of strength and dropped straight back onto the bed. But I don't really know about that either. They're trying to hide and abandon the student council president because there's a criminal behind the incident, isn't there? Matsuda leaned forward. Their faces were almost touching. He looked deeply into Murasame's unseeing eyes. One false move and this will turn into Yaoi Ranpa. Sure. So what do you think? You know the culprit? You need to tell me. Why are they protecting them? As always, there was no reply. Whether from his expression or from his eyes, there wasn't a hint of recognition. It really is useless. Matsuda shook his head, looking frustrated. Well, it's just the examination that was a failure, he muttered grumpily as he stretched his head. Oh, that's right. He suddenly remembered something. He asked in a tone, feigning casualness. By any chance, you know anyone by the name of Junko Enoshima? Murasame twitched slightly, and his eyes moved. Matsuda's expression turned into a glare quickly. Murasame turned directly towards him. Seeing that, Matsuda's reaction was surprisingly quite calm. I knew it. He couldn't help but feel discouraged. It would be better if he were still unconscious. But not surprisingly, he wasn't. Though, that was also to be expected. Matsuda had prepared for it a long time ago. He had no choice but to fall down from here. Like a fate that he had been doomed to since the very start, he was cursed to an unchangeable destiny. He knew he couldn't stop it no matter what he did. The ground he was firmly walking on until now had collapsed. As he fell to the bottom of the deep abyss, he could taste it in his mouth. It was just a metaphor, but it was also quite real. Even as he fell, Matsuda knew exactly what was happening. Ooh, alright, well. There are definitely things happening. So I don't really know the timeline as to like what is going on in terms of when Junko is reacting with Ryoko, Matsuda like left to go do this. I'm a little unclear on the timeline. I guess this would be happening around the same time, or I guess a little bit after when he like leaves Ryoko to go do something. I guess this is what he's going to do. I mean, hopefully I'm right about that. And then there was that thing that seemed like a little bit of a flashback. So yeah, all right. So we are starting to see a little bit more as to what Matsuda is up to. They're kind of putting together like what Junko's up to. And I mean, we'll see sort of what happens. All right. So now that I know this is the second volume and things are split up by chapters, I will probably find out how many chapters there are, so I know about how long to expect. But we still definitely have some more reading of Danganronpa Zero to do, so yeah, hopefully y'all are excited for that. Let me know y'all's thoughts on the stories, the story so far, and yeah, I guess I will see y'all on the next time. So thanks for watching. Until the next time, peace out.